there's only 10 amendments. So basically, the Oregon Constitution is taking those rights under the federal Constitution and expanding them, giving them more definition. And we see that theme throughout all levels of law. This idea, as law gets smaller, it becomes more defined. And I'll show you more examples of that as we work our way through. All right, so back to this page. So the number one law, U.S. Constitution. That's our royal flush of law. At the state level, the highest level law within that state is the state constitution, which means that no lower level law within a state can conflict with the state constitution. If so, the state constitution will preempt or override that lower level law. So if the state of Oregon legislature passes a law that conflicts with the Oregon Constitution, the Oregon Constitution prevails and beats the statute written by the legislature. Same theme throughout, okay, over and over. Now, what if a state constitution conflicts with the federal constitution? Which one wins? Federal, correct, the federal constitution. What if the state constitution conflicts with a federal statute? Federal, right? Federal law always wins. Okay, that's the supremacy clause that we looked at last class. So federal law will be supreme over state law. Now sometimes there's gray areas there. I'm making it sound very cut and dry. In the real world, it's not always that cut and dry. Gray area. That's why we have courts, that's why we have lawyers, that's why courts sometimes can't even agree at the Supreme Court level. We may have a 5-4 decision, meaning you've got 4 Supreme Court justices that don't agree. So there's not always this clarity that I'm making it sound like. But that gets to be more of a law school level, okay? I want to focus on the fundamental ideas in this class. All right, so let's go back to the top here. Number 2 on our list of federal law is a treaty. You know what a treaty is? Something you give out at Halloween. Like, come over to my house, I give you, trick or treat, and my wife's a dentist, so she hands out toothbrushes, of course, right? And this is a true thing. She's got a little name on there and stuff. I hand out treaties, little rolled up pieces of paper with a red ribbon. That sounds cool, right? A trick or treaty. It's October. So, what's a treaty? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone know what a treaty is? It's an agreement. But what kind of an agreement? A very important agreement. An international agreement. A treaty is an international agreement between sovereign states, countries. So, the United States enters into a treaty with France or whatever. A treaty is an international agreement. Now, under the U.S. Constitution, the president has the authority to enter into treaties. Now, that's usually delegated to maybe the Secretary of State or an ambassador to negotiate. But at the end of the day, it's the president of the United States that has the authority to enter into an international agreement. So a treaty is an international agreement entered into with one or more other countries or intergovernmental organizations like the United Nations or the European Union, etc. So for this class, I want you to know a treaty is an international agreement, and the president has the authority to enter into treaties. Now, I have treaties up there as number 2. It's a very high source of law. It's below the Constitution. So a treaty, in theory, cannot conflict with the U.S. Constitution. But I have it above the other levels of federal law and state law. So let me show you where that comes from. And again, you don't need to turn your page. I just want to show you. We looked at this page last time. So this is the Supremacy Clause of the U.S. Constitution under Article 6. And right here, this Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties So it says right there, shall be the supreme law of the land. So we see built into the U.S. Constitution the ability of the president to enter into international agreements, and that when a treaty is properly done, it becomes the supreme law, meaning it will override lower level law, including state law or other lower level laws. So how does that work? So sometimes we have this problem, not really a problem, but in order for a treaty to be ratified, the president enters into the treaty.